The first sensation Elias Ward experienced was cold, not the biting cold of winter or the chill of air conditioning, but a deep, bone-penetrating cold that seemed to radiate from within his very cells. His eyes cracked open and the world appeared as a blur of sterile white and pale blue lights. "Easy, easy," a melodic voice chimed, though the words carried an unusual cadence. "Please, Elias Ward, remain still. Your body requires time to adjust." As his vision cleared, Elias found himself staring at a face that belonged in no human evolutionary tree. 4 eyes, 2 large primary orbs flanked by smaller secondary ones, regarded him with what he instinctively recognized as concern. The creature's skin shimmered with an iridescent quality, shifting between shades of teal and violet under the medical bay's lighting. "What? Where?" Elias's throat felt like sandpaper. "I am Supervisor Karen Thole," the alien said, extending a 3-fingered hand toward a floating console. "You are aboard Medical Station Salvation 7 in the Kepler 442 system. You have been in stasis for 20 years, 2 months, and 17 days. The words hit Elias like a physical blow. 20 years. He tried to sit up, but his muscles screamed in protest. Karen Thole immediately placed a gentle but firm hand on his shoulder. "Careful, human," the supervisor warned, all 4 eyes widening with worry. "Your muscular and skeletal systems have been preserved, but neural pathways require recalibration. Too rapid movement could cause permanent damage." 20 years, Elias whispered, the reality settling over him like a suffocating blanket. "The mission?" "The colony ship. What happened?" Karen Thole's skin flickered to a deeper shade of blue. Sadness, Elias would later learn. "There was an accident during the initial landing sequence. A solar flare unprecedented in magnitude. The colony ship's shields failed. You were the only survivor we could reach in time." Elias closed his eyes, seeing the faces of his crew. Captain Morrison, who taught him chess during the long journey. Dr. Yuki Chen, whose laugh could fill an entire deck. Young Tommy Reeves, barely 22, who had his whole life ahead of him. "How many?" he asked. 247 souls were lost, Karen Thole replied softly. "I am deeply sorry, Elias Ward. We arrived too late to save more." The supervisor moved to a nearby station, manipulating holographic displays with practiced ease. "In the immediate aftermath, your injuries were catastrophic. Radiation poisoning, severe burns, multiple organ failures. By human medical standards of your era, you should have perished within hours." "But I didn't," Elias said, studying his hands. They looked like his hands, felt like his hands, but something seemed different. "No, you did not." Karen Thole returned to his bedside. "When the collective discovered your colony's fate, I volunteered to oversee your care. For 20 years I have maintained your stasis pod, monitored your cellular regeneration, and ensured that when you woke, you would truly wake, not as a shell, but as yourself." "Why?" The question escaped before Elias could stop it. "Why would you spend 20 years watching over one human?" The alien's skin rippled with colors Elias couldn't interpret. "Because that is what one does for a person," Karen Thole said simply. "Your species is new to the collective, and many questioned whether the resources should be allocated. But I studied your history, Elias Ward. I learned of your medicine, your art, your stubborn refusal to accept the impossible." Karen Thole activated another display, showing images that made Elias's breath catch. Earth, but not the Earth he remembered. Massive orbital structures ringed the planet. Ships of impossible design drifted between continents connected by shimmering bridges of light. 20 years ago, humanity was taking its first steps toward the stars. The supervisor continued. "Today, humans serve in every branch of the collective. Your engineers solve problems that stump our greatest minds. Your soldiers, forgive me, peacekeepers, have earned a reputation for bravery that borders on insanity. And your artists." Karen Thole's skin brightened. "They have brought beauty to corners of the galaxy that had forgotten such things existed." Elias stared at the images, his mind struggling to comprehend. "I don't understand. We were so primitive." "Primitive?" Karen Thole made a sound like wind chimes, laughter, Elias realized. "You built starships with mathematics barely beyond basic calculus. You sought to colonize worlds without understanding the fundamental forces that govern space-time. Most species would call that suicidal. We call it remarkably, terrifyingly human." The supervisor helped Elias into a sitting position, supporting him as his muscles relearned their purpose. The collective has existed for millions of years, Elias Ward. In that time, we have encountered 17,432 species. Do you know how many emerged from their homeworlds in chemical rockets, hurling themselves into the void on controlled explosions? Elias shook his head. 3, including yours. The others who survived such primitive methods took centuries to reach beyond their solar systems. Humanity did it in decades. Karenthal's 4 eyes focused intently on him. You are survivors, Elias Ward. You adapt, you endure, you overcome. That is why I spent 20 years ensuring you lived, because the galaxy needs humans, because I believed you deserved a chance to see what your people became. Tears tracked down Elias's face, for his lost crew, for the years stolen from him, for the future that awaited. Karenthal produced a cloth, human-made, Elias noted, and gently offered it to him. What happens now? Elias asked. Now? The supervisor's skin brightened to a warm gold. Now you heal. You learn. You decide who Elias Ward will become in this new age. The collective owes you a debt. We failed to save your companions, but I promise you this. You will never be alone again. Elias looked at the alien who had devoted 2 decades to his survival, seeing not a strange creature from the stars, but something far simpler and more profound, a friend. Thank you, he said, for everything. Karenthal's skin shimmered with colors of joy.
Welcome back to the living, Elias Ward. Welcome to humanity's golden age.